Welcome. Thank you for joining today's Wednesday mindfulness lunch session on this lovely San Francisco day. Definitely global warming in action. 70s in the city for a week, and I think we're supposed to have another week of 70s. So instead of being outside, I'm assuming you're inside, but maybe that's not true. Maybe you took your phone outside and you're in a park somewhere. So last week we touched on being in the body and the importance of being in the body, being embodied, and how different things in our life may bring us out of our body shaming, trauma, just thinking a lot and being in our heads. So I thought today we would do some body movement practices. I'm going to do them all seated, so it's not going to be intense or anything. So if you can, let's start with our grounding practice, which we normally do to bring us to the here and now, help calm the central nervous system, letting go of whatever happened before or what may happen after. And if you know ones that I've been doing in the past that you prefer, please feel free to do those. I'm going to do the one where you put the right hand underneath the left armpit and then the left hand across the chest, reaching the fingers to the deltoid region between the elbow and the shoulder. And if you want, you can close your eyes and take some breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing maybe the chest inhaling and bringing the arms up, and pushing the arms up a little bit. Maybe you can already tell there's been a change in the body, maybe a quieting, maybe a slowing, maybe a letting go, lightening. And again, maybe not. Okay. And releasing the arms down into the lap. And while we're doing these body movements, I ask you to pay attention to your body. You know your body best. And if you tend to be a person who's always pushing yourself, maybe take this opportunity to relax a little bit, not having to be perfect, for example. Or if you tend to lay back and not necessarily, give what you have, maybe considering pushing yourself a little bit. So just some words for thought. Take them into consideration or not, completely up to you. All right, so let's start out by doing some breathing and noticing the breath in the body. Maybe putting the hands on the front of the body, the front of the ribs, or the belly. Noticing the breath in the body into the front of the body, the front of the ribs. Our shoulders relaxed. How's the jaw? And what about the tongue? Now moving the hands to the side of the body. And seeing if we can notice the breath in the sides, our side ribs. This may not be as pronounced as the front ribs. And can you notice that breath expanding into the right and left sides of the body? And then if you want, reaching around if you can, and maybe having the backs or fronts of the palm on the back part of the body. Noticing the breath coming into the back ribs. The sides of the body expanding away from the spine. Now resting the hands back in the lap. Seeing if we can notice the breath in the body 360 degrees around our torso, expanding in all directions. Let's do a quick check-in here. Coming into the mind. What's happening in the mind at this moment? Are thoughts racing? Are we feeling a certain emotion? Just noticing and maybe naming. Letting go of that and coming into the body. How's the body feeling today, right now? Maybe not going to an automatic answer. Taking the time to truly check in and sense into the body. Maybe we're feeling tight, maybe we're feeling relaxed. Maybe there's tingling, maybe there's warmth or coolness. Letting go of the body and checking in with the heart. How are we feeling? Now just coming back to the breath if we can, letting go of the check-in. And bringing the arms up, out to the side and up and over the head on an inhalation, and then down on an exhalation. Maybe having the palms facing up as we inhale and bring the arms up. Maybe turn the palms and have them pressing away and down as we exhale. And continuing that, see if we can feel the air as if it were water being moved as our arms are moving through the air on our inhalation and exhalation. Now let's try it to a count, and maybe inhaling for a count of 3 as we bring the arms up. Exhaling for a count of 3. And stretching that out to maybe 4. Maybe 5. And then lastly, 6. Resting the hands in the lap, breathing normally. And bringing the legs out in front in a V, rolling the ankles in circles in one direction, and then rolling your ankles in the other direction. And maybe noticing one direction is maybe easier than another. Our bodies are different. And welcoming those differences versus judging. And now maybe pointing the toes and then flexing them back. Pointing, flexing. Now maybe curling the toes and uncurling the toes, straightening them. Maybe noticing when you're curling, do you notice anything happen in the upper part of your body? Sometimes curling the toes has tension or creates tension in the upper body. Or maybe if we have tension in the upper body, we'll curl our toes. And move the legs back together. Ankles under the knees. And let's do something for the hips. Let's bring the left ankle over the right leg with the right foot remaining flat on the floor and holding the ankle with your right hand to stabilizing it and maybe flexing the foot. That'll help protect the knee. And keeping the back straight. Bending forward, again to a point that's comfortable for you. We're not rounding the back necessarily, straight and flat back and coming forward. And hold here and breathe into the spots that are tight. Maybe that outer left hip and buttock, back. Checking in with the shoulders. So we're not unnecessarily holding. And when you're ready, coming back up. Bringing that left leg down and now bring the right leg up with the ankle across the knee. Maybe holding on with your left hand to stabilize the right ankle. And taking a breath. And bending forward. Again with a straight, flat back. And as far as is comfortable for you. Feeling that stretch in the outer hip. Hold this a little longer than the other exercises because of the bigger muscle. It can take a little longer to relax. Checking in with the mind. Is it here with the body exercise or somewhere else? Slowly coming back to seated. Bring the right leg down. Taking another breath, checking in with the body. Now we're going to do a seated cat-cow. So maybe coming to the edge of your chair, feet flat on the floor, and both hands behind you, maybe gripping the chair, and your fingers pointed down. And then on an inhalation, starting the curve from your torso, and arching and expanding like a cow. And on an exhalation, rounding and curving, and coming forward with the head and neck like a cat. And breathing in to cow, seeing if we can have the movement come from the spine versus the neck. We tend to lead with our neck a lot, which causes our neck strain. So see if the movement with the breath can come from the torso. One more inhale and exhale. Coming back up to flat back, seated. Letting go with the hands, having them in the lap. Taking another breath. Now keeping the left hand on your thigh and putting the right hand maybe to the back of the chair and twisting to the right. And seeing if we can, again, move from the torso and not our head and neck. And holding here and breathing. And coming back to center. Taking a breath in center before moving to the other side. Right hand resting on the right thigh, left hand reaching behind the back of the chair, and initiating the twist from the torso. Checking in with the shoulders. We're not holding unnecessary tension there. Seeing maybe if there's a little bit more on the next exhalation where you can twist a little more. Again, what's best for your body. Coming back to center. It's important to twist our bodies, to twist our spine. It moves in various directions, but we tend to, over the day, repeat continual movements. So twisting and the next one we're going to be doing side bending are very beneficial for getting the blood flowing into the spine. So on an inhalation, let's raise the right arm up. And then the palm facing down towards the head, and then bend over to the left side, creating a C shape on the right side of the body. Checking if we're in line, upright, not forward or back. Breathing into that side body. And on a inhalation, coming up, and exhale, bringing the arm down to the side. Again, taking a breath, not bringing any tension into the other side. And then raising the left arm up on an inhalation, going over to the right, creating that C shape, stretching the left side body. Checking in with that right shoulder. Is the right shoulder relaxed? Breathing into those side ribs. And on an inhalation, coming up to straight, and then on an exhalation, bringing the arm down. Now let's roll our wrists, have them in your hands in a fist. And in whatever direction you chose, do the opposite. Maybe noticing any differences. Now, bringing the hands into prayer in front of you and pressing the finger pads and the palm together and lifting the elbows while we have our hands in front of us. This can help stretch out the wrists, good for carpal tunnel. Those of us who work at the computer regularly may want to do this. And open up the fingers so the fingers are spread apart. See if that changes the stretch or how that changes the stretch. And then relaxing the hands down into the lap. We're going to come back into that position, but this time with the hands together in prayer and your elbows out. We're not going to be using any resistance. We're just going to tip the fingertips away from you so they're pointing down, maybe in front of you. Are you breathing? Are you here? Are you noticing where you're feeling the stretch, if you're feeling the stretch? And bringing the hands back up and resting the hands in the lap. Now let's get into the shoulders. Bringing them up and back and down. Up, back, down. And maybe focusing more on the back and down, since some of us may have a tendency to have our shoulders up to the ears for a long portion of the day. I will do another one for the shoulders and the neck. So reach the left arm behind the back and grab the right inner elbow, and then have the palm resting up. So you're having an arch in the back. You want to keep your shoulders square. Sometimes we may veer to the right or to the left, but see that they're square, straight in front. And now take your head and move it towards your right shoulder. And come back to the center. Just checking the fluidity of that movement. One more time. And now maybe tipping the ear, your right ear to your right shoulder. Maybe feeling that stretch on the left side. And slowly bringing the head back up. Maybe tilting the head back, looking up towards the ceiling. And bringing the head forward, looking down into the lap. And coming back to center. Letting go of the arms, taking a breath. And then doing that on the other side. So the right hand behind the back, grabbing the inside of the left elbow with the palm resting upward. Checking the range of motion, looking over that left shoulder, coming back to center. Maybe we're noticing we could move further on one side than the other. I know the left side here tends to have less range of motion for me. Now, tipping the ear towards the shoulder. Get that stretch. Maybe breathing into any areas that are tight. Slowly lifting your head back up and looking up towards the ceiling, and then looking down towards your lap. Bring your head back to center, releasing the arms, relaxing the elbows. We'll do one last exercise. Clasping the hands in front of you, and then turning them inside out and bringing them up to the ceiling. So your palms are pointing towards the ceiling. And depending on your range of your motion, you may get your arms above your head or behind your head. Wherever that is, notice the stretch in the body. Now maybe on an exhalation, keeping the hands clasped, bring them down behind your head. And then bring them back up. Try that again. Turn the palms towards you, towards the back of your head, bringing your hands down to the neck if possible. And back up. And stretching to the ceiling. And an exhalation, letting the arms come to the side. Do a quick check-in, sensing into the breath, sensing into the body, coming into the mind. How are the thoughts in your mind right now? Checking in with the body. Does it feel different than it did before? How's the heart feeling? What emotions are you having at this moment in time? Okay. One last inhalation, bringing the arms up. Exhaling, bringing them down. Thank you for joining me today. May your mind be at peace. May your words come from a place of love. And may your heart be filled with joy. Stay cool out there. Have a good day.